Welcome everyone to Growth School. It's another phenomenal moment to be transformed, to be insight, to receive insight, to be inspired, and then to be committed to the things that will help you live your life and be transformed by the things that you do. So today we'll be looking at the concept of mastery, how you can master the tool for winning in the game of life, how you can master the tools for winning in the game of life. Get ready, I will be in your face in some sec. All right, everyone, welcome to Growth School. And we will be looking at how you can begin to master the secrets and the tools for winning in the game of life. I hope you've gotten your writing materials, you've gotten all the things you need to learn and to begin to strategize to live a better life. Please do well to share this video, share the link with as many of your friends and people you're willing to learn and get a lot of the secrets and ideas that you want to learn right now. Anywhere you are in the world, I wish you in that your time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wheresoever you are, if you are in Moon, good morning. All right, so that's amazing. It's really great to be here again. Okay, so today we are studying the concept of mastery. And as we begin to consider the concept of mastery, there is a story that comes to mind. All right. And if you're someone who is very conversant with the Bible, there is this time in the point in the children of Israel when Saul was the king of Israel, and there was this intimidating personality that appeared before the children of Israel, and his name was Goliath. He was so tall, he was a giant, and he had this very intimidating appearance that even the king was scared. All right, there was no man of war that could confront him and have a belief that he was going to win. And at that point, David, who happened to be the last son of Jesse, he was always used to being sent to the bush to care for the sheep, to take them grazing, and all of that. And he was doing all of that. And at this point, their father got bothered and said, "Oh, David, your brothers will be hungry right now. David, take this portion of food and go give your brother in the war front." The father was not aware of what was happening. Okay. And David just obeyed and got to the battlefront and said, "Oh, my father brought this." And while he was trying to run the errand that the father sent him, he saw the entire situation that was happening. And as he saw all that was happening, he looked at it and he felt, oh, he told them that what will be done to the person who defeats these Philistines? What will be done to the person who defeats this intimidating creature? And they told him, they say, oh, he was going to be blessed by the king. The king was going to give him a portion of the kingdom. He was going to become the in-law of the king. Okay? All right. After that was done, he asked again and said, what will be done to the person who defeats this individual? And along the line, when his brother saw that I was having that conversation, they say, you're feeling more than yourself, you're thinking you are going to make this happen. And then they brought him before the king, and he told the king felt, oh, you the small boy, how are you this? And he said, while I was taking the sheep and doing all of those things, the lion came, I tore it, the bear came, I tore it, and he kept on saying all of that. The lion came, I tore it, the bear came, I tore it, and please hold on a sec. Um, okay, so he started sharing all of that. Okay, so he said, the lion came, I dealt with it, the bear came, I delivered that from his hand. And he said, just like he has dealt with the lion and the bear, I am going to deal with these Philistines the same way. All right. And the king tried to discourage him that, oh, don't bother, you can't do this, be careful, and all of that. And eventually, they agreed. And when it was time to go for battle, the king looked at him and said, okay, we need to look for a way to protect this young man because he can die anyhow. He does not look like one who have fought war. And then they brought an armor, the armor that the warriors always go with in order to ensure that the arrow does not get to them or the sword does not pierce them. And they wore it on him. And David said, oh, this is too heavy because I have not tried it. Okay, why he said this is too heavy because I have not tried it. Why he felt that I have not mastered the use of this, I have not mastered how this is being used. And without mastering this tool being used, it does not guarantee that I'll be able to win with the battle with it. So there's something about mastery that gives you the ability to win again and again in life. Okay, there's something about mastery that gives you the power to win again and again in life. It is difficult for you to win with a tool you have not mastered. I'll say that again. It is difficult to win with a tool that you have not mastered. And that's why the concept of mastery is critical in your journey of life. Every situation of life, you must begin to look at it like the games that you play. They are winners and they are losers. If you really want to win in the game of life, you need to master certain tools. There are certain things you need to understand. There are certain things you need to make use of. There are certain things you need to employ. There are certain things you need to engage. There are certain things you need to try over time and gain mastery before you start using them. Do you realize that even when David has mastered what he was going to use to defeat Goliath, he never let it out. He never told them the exact way, he never told them the system and the secret he was going to use. Why? Because there are certain things that needs to be kept in the borders of your mind until you have gained a mastery of result over them. Okay? Until you have gained mastery of result over them. There are certain things that should be kept in the borders of your mind until you have gained mastery over them. Okay, so hold on a sec. Okay, so it's very important that you consider mastery very, very important as you begin to journey in life. Now, I'm going to share like five different things that you must master if you really want to win in the game of life. Whether you're a career person, you're someone who is running a business, you're someone who is a top professional, you're someone who is just starting out in life, there are five major things that you need to pay attention to. Number one is your identity. Number one is your identity. If you study that story critically, David knew who he was. He knew he was one that was meant to rule. He was one that was meant to dominate. He knew what was upon his life before he engaged in that battle. Listen, if you don't know who you are in the journey of life, life will defeat you multiple times. All right. If you don't understand, if you have not mastered your identity in the system and the journey of life, life is going to defeat you multiple times. Life is going to defeat you again and again and again and again multiple times. That's why the understanding of your identity, the understanding of who you are, the understanding of what you are, the understanding of what you represent is critical is critical as you begin to journey in life. It's critical as you begin to journey in life. You must know this is the person that I am. This is what I represent. As far as life is concerned, I am a voice. As far as life is concerned, I'm meant to defend the cause. As far as life is concerned, I'm meant to be an entity that begins to bring result in certain area. Why? Because the power of your identity is what will make you confront difficulties because you understand that you can subdue them. So there's something about your identity that gives you the power to win. So the question right now is who are you? Your identity is a tool that makes you powerful. Your identity is a tool that transforms you. That's why there was a time that Jesus stepped into the temple and he said, the Spirit of God is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel of peace. All right, he has anointed me to heal the brokenhearted. He has given me the power to liberate those that are bound. You know why? Because he understood who he was. Joseph, even though he left the comfort of his father's house and then he went into another nation, he knew what was upon him. He had that clarity that he was a leader. And that was why everywhere Joseph went, he was given a leadership responsibility, even in the prison. The power of your identity will give you the push and motivation to win in the game of life. To win in the game of life. Have you seen certain people that when they belong to a team, like when people just see them in a team, the other team already feel intimidated. Why? Because they understand the personality, they know the identity of this individual. They know this person is driven by victory, by success, by victory, all right, by winning all the time. So your identity gives you an enforcement, gives you an empowerment to win in the game of life. Don't go about life assuming who you are. Go through life knowing who you are. Go through life knowing who you are. And that's the reason why you will be free from the certain intimidating situations like Goliath whenever you know who you are. Maybe, for example, you're trying to change a certain career, you're trying to move to a new location, you're trying to transition into some new territories. The understanding of who you are will give you that drive to carry on. Why? Because you know that irrespective of where you are, there is a force within you that empowers you to keep going, that empowers you to keep going, that empowers you to keep going. You must know who you are. And that's why there are certain things that gives you the privilege of knowing who you are. There are things like personality tests. I know there are personality test tools from people like, I know Tony Robbins has one. I guess Brian Tracy also has, I think John Maxwell also has a tool. If you go to their website, you can find. And you can also conduct a very simple analysis on yourself. You can do a SWOT analysis. That's understanding what your strengths are. What are those intrinsic advantage that you have within yourself that gives you the ability to be productive on a daily basis? There are things that have become your strength. You know the things you are good at, you know the things you are strong at, you know the things that you are able to easily get results from. Those are area of your strength. And what do you do with them? You begin to look for platforms and places where you can engage them. You begin to push and position yourself to a point where you build mastery on them. So the area of your strength. You need to also know the area of your weakness. What are the things that are not your intrinsic, your internal ability? Okay, but at some point you may need them to grow and advance in your journey of life. Okay, so you need to know what your weaknesses are, and then what are the opportunities available to you. Maybe opportunities like the places you were born. Maybe you were born from well-off homes. Maybe opportunities like you went to a very good school. Maybe opportunities like you earned a very good degree. What are opportunities available to give you certain privileges and advantages in life? There are external abilities that you did not really have to do so much to get them. There are just opportunities available to enhance your life? And what are external disadvantages? What's the threats? What are threats to your, if it's also a business, you can conduct a SWOT analysis. What's the strength of your business? What's the weakness of that business? What are the opportunities available to that business? What are the threats in that business industry? You need to look out for those things. Number one is your identity. So what is your identity? What do you represent? What exactly attaches to you? What are the things that you understand that these are things that will enable you to win in that game of life? Don't run through life. There is a very important passage in the Bible that changed my life, and when I looked at it critically, it enhanced my life in a very great way. Okay, it says, which of you wanting to build a tower, which of you wanting to build a tower, seated not down first to consider whether he has sufficient to finish it. Okay, so that those who see you when you start, they do not mock you when you are not able to finish. He said, which of you wanting to fight a battle against another nation, like you want to fight a battle against another land, against some set of armies, and you do not consider whether you have enough weapon to fight and defeat that army? There's something about identity that is critical. Number two is the system of capacity. All right? Capacity. Now, capacity has a lot of things to do with your abilities, your skills, your trainings, all right, your certifications, the concept of capacity. The concept of capacity. Capacity is very, very essential in your winning in the game of life. You must begin to consider. That's what I'm talking about. Which of you wanting to fight a battle, you do not look ahead whether you are sufficient to drive it. Why? Because the system of capacity will require that you sacrifice a lot of things. Right now, there are some maybe skills, there are some certifications you want to take, there are some places you want to be in, there are some things you want to do that would require that you pay certain sacrifices so that you can increase the range of your skill, so that you can increase the level that you are right now. Okay, because you would attract the blessing at the level that you are. You would attract the blessing at the level that you are. Blessings will not come to you beyond the level that you are. That's why it's really important that you look and you start considering your capacity. Okay, how do I want to grow? What's the level of growth that is needed to go to where I'm going to? Okay, now recently I started having some conversation with certain people that, oh, now that you're going, what, like trying to consider what's your next bold move? Okay, what's the next thing you're trying to achieve in this level of life? Looking at yourself right now, do you have the capacity to get there? Okay, because your capacity is very important. Now, let me take, for example, there is this cup. Okay, when we're young, there is this very small cup that used to come with this Schnapp bottle. When they buy Schnapp, there's this very small bottle. Now, imagine someone pouring water from a very big jug into that little cup. And as they begin to pour it inside, expecting that little cup will take the content of a 1 liter jug. It's not possible. If that particular cup must take everything in that jug, it must grow its capacity, it must increase to the level of that jug. The problem is not that you are not doing many things, is that you are not increasing your capacity to embrace the blessings that come with those activities. So the reason why some people engage in many activities but they don't have achievements is always because their capacity is so limited that it cannot take the blessings and reward of their kinds of activities. That's why you must grow your capacity if the blessings must really come to you. So when people say, "Oh, this person this person is walking like elephant, but is eating like ant," oh, okay, maybe it is just that their little cup trying to engage the effort of a jug, and then they cannot embrace the blessings that are available in that particular thing. So it's not by the number of things that you choose to do, but it's always by what? By your ability to grow, by your ability to increase, so that people can reward you for the things that you do. Maybe, for example, we are today in a situation, in a place where we have lots of people who say, I'm doing a lot of things, I'm coming on online, I'm trying to do this, I've not breakthrough online, I've not been able to hit a monetization level on YouTube, I've not been able to hit monetization on Facebook, I've not been able to do this. It's because you do not prepare your house to be able to draw the blessings for the activities you're engaged in. And that's why you find out that the people who do the 20% of things that matter are the ones who get the 80% of reward. But the 80% of people who do the 80% of things that do not matter only get the 20% of reward. I'll say that again. The 20% of people who do the 20% of things that matter, they get the 80% reward. And the 80% of people who do the 80% of things that do not really matter, they get the 20% of reward. Now, you need to ask yourself, as you grow and carry on a daily basis, what are the essential 20% of things that should take the most of your energy, that should take 80% of your time? And what are the 80% of things that should take only the 20% of your time? You know, that's a concept that was brought up. They say the Pareto 80-20 principle. All right, because most of the things that people do on a daily basis, they fall into just the 80% of things that do not matter. And you are not expected to be highly rewarded. You are not expected to be highly rewarded for the things that least matter. So what's your capacity? How do you intentionally grow your capacity? Right now, people may see you, maybe you're trying to get certifications, you're trying to end degree, you're sitting down, you're there, you've been there for 1 month trying to build your skill, maybe in one tech skill, in one business skill, in one soft skill, and you're intentional about it. And certain people right now, they're getting instant reward, but they don't have the capacity to sustain the reward. Before you know it, they would not last. But if you build the capacity, very soon you will begin to grow in revenue. You begin to grow in revenue. So the system of capacity, Okay. So you must engage that tool. Capacity is a tool that will help you win. Why do you think some people, when they lose at a point, they go train again? They take time and train for years. They come back again. And at the time when they come really prepared, they end up winning the person who won in the past. Why? Because they have now grown their capacity for winning. There was this, I think it was a US president. I want to remember his name. Was he John F. Kennedy? I can't remember now. Who, it was told in his story that it started as maybe a small community election. And at that point, he lost. He went again, built his capacity, went for an higher one. He lost again, built his capacity, tried the Senate. He lost again. Okay, tried the parliament. Eventually, he kept on building his capacity to the point where he now became the president of America. That's what capacity does to you. When you fail at any point, always take it as probably you have not built your capacity enough to win at that level. So what do? You grow. You start growing, and you start improving. Are you getting value? Are you getting value? Are you getting value? Are you getting value? Let me see you say in the comment section. Let me see you say in the comment section. All right, let me see you. Are you getting value already? Let me see you type value. Interesting. That's awesome. So the first is identity, the second is capacity. Now to the thirdly, the concept of connectivity. The concept of connectivity. All right, now when we talk about connectivity, Recently, I gave one of my mentees, I gave her an assignment to do. I said, what are the difference? Like, you need to categorize your relationship into certain levels. Okay. There are people who are associates, there are people who are accompanies, there are people who are mentors, there are people who are instructors, there are people who are circles, okay, who belong to the close circle. The problem is most times people engage into certain relationships, okay, like friendship. People say, "Oh, that's my friend, that's my friend, that's my friend." Facebook friend, friends, church friend, friends, society friend, friends, family meeting friends. You know, you keep saying you have a lot of friends, but you don't seem to have a means of compartment of putting them in compartments. Okay, there's something called compartmentalization or putting those relationships in compartments to know that, oh, this is someone in my circle, close circle. This is just an accompaniment. This is just an associate. This is just a mentor. This is an instructor. So that eventually you don't get disappointed by what people do. Because sometimes you expect that people are in your circles when they are not, and when they act like accompaniments, you are disappointed. Okay, that's because it's really essential to put compartment to your relationship. Now, when I talk about connectivity in winning, for example, maybe you're trying to grow a platform. Like, these are strategies. Just you can check it out, and I'll point certain examples. When you want to grow a platform, and maybe you are just starting, and probably you don't have a very large audience. Sometimes you may need to offer certain price in order to earn the kind of audience that you need to grow your platform. Or maybe you want to sell a digital product. You want to sometimes maybe start a business. Okay, maybe start up something. At some point, there are people who have strength in your weakness, who you need to associate and connect together in order to achieve the same purpose. But in trying to do these things, there are people who just come and say, "Oh, please, I want to do this. Can you help me post this? Can you help me share this?" No, you must be willing to offer something that other person needs. Okay? You must be willing to offer something that other person needs. For example, there are people who choose to volunteer for top thought leaders. Okay, they volunteer for their events, they volunteer for their programs. They know they have the skill, they have mastered the skill. They offer their skill to these individuals because they want to win. They want to win their trust. They want to win. They want to win their relationship. They want to win their associations, and then leverage on that to build their own products. Sometimes people believe, oh, when you meet maybe a top professional, you tell the person, oh, I want to sell this product, I want you to post, and then they charge you, say, 100,000, or they charge you 1 million. They charge you like very fair amount in order for them to do that. That's always because you are paying for what you do not have. Okay, you are paying them for the relationship you don't have. But there are certain people that they will do it willingly. Why? Because those people have sacrificed so much, they have paid a price so much to them that the amount you are paying, they are willing to offer it because those people have offered it before now. Okay, they have offered it before now. So there are certain relationships that when you consistently invest in them, they bring you some sort of rewards later on. They bring you some sort of rewards, revenue. They might even help you later on. Imagine people who are friends like some of these top influencers. They do it for them for free. For instance, a skit maker who released an album, brought a lot of friends together. Okay, that's like a symbiosis. They have a means of connection to help each other without charging each other. And tomorrow, if this other person has something to do, they can collaborate easily. And then you see them growing, 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 growing. The same thing happens in the entertainment industry. This individual is launching a cinema movie, reach out to other colleagues that probably she has certain social capital with them, and then they promote the movie for free. And you see people watch, you begin to see the millions raking, billions raking, and all of that. That's always because there is connectivity. The question is, in the things you are willing to achieve, as far as you're willing to go, what is the sacrifice you're paying so that you can win? What is the sacrifice you are paying so that you can win? Who are the people you are connected to that gives you an assurance that you would win? All right. It's not always about, oh, sir, help me, help me, help me, help me. No, what are you willing to give in order to get those things back? And that's always the system of the world. The system of the world is always that you reap when you have sown. You reap when you have sown. You reap when you have sown. What are you willing to offer in order to win in that battle? There was this time in the ancient past, there was a king called King Ahab. He was the king of, I think he was the king of maybe Moab, and there was this king, King Jehoshaphat. He was the king of, I think Judah. And Ahab wanted to go to war, and he saw that if he went alone into war, these people were going to defeat him. What did he do? He reached out to King Jehoshaphat and said, oh, please, let's go to battle and all of that. Yes, eventually there was a part of that story where a prophet said, oh, if they go, he was going to die. And those things happened eventually. But there was some sort of relationship. There was connectivity that brought about a collaboration so that there will be a domination, so that there will be able to win eventually. So when you watch in your circle and say, oh, with what I have, with my capacity, I'm not sure I'm going to win, or I'm not sure I'm going to sell the units of this book. I'm not sure, oh, the launch of this business is going to go out well. Oh, I'm not sure this program is going to really grow. Oh, I'm not sure this is going to happen. What do? You connect. You look out for people in your circles and you begin to bring it together. For example, in my industry, one of the places where I operate as core in the academia, for you to grow in the academic system, there's something called publications, which means you need to publish to very high-tier journals, you need to write papers, you need to publish in good places, nice places that have high reputations where you gain a lot of citations. And you need to do this on a yearly basis. Okay, you need to do this on a yearly basis. And for each level, as you grow, there is a number of research publication that is needed in journals. There's a number of research publication needed in conferences. All right, there are a number of workshops you need to attend. There are administrative duties you need to hold. Now, and every year there is some sort of appraisal, and there's a point where you get promoted. Now, there are people who maybe they conceive an idea of a paper and they just draft some sort of proposals. And when they begin to find out that, oh, at this point, for me to achieve this, I would not be able to do it alone. I will need to reach out to some other researchers, okay, who are experts in this area. And some of them are even outside your country. Some of them are outside your continent. You need to send emails to them. You have seen what they have done. And they collaborate, okay? They work together. And they work on that research paper. They send it out. And all the names of the authors appear on that journal. Now, that article does not just belong to the person who conceived the idea. Everyone who contributed to that paper, their names are represented there, and that paper alone can be used for their individual appraisals or promotion in the institution. That's the power for winning. But you see people say, oh, I just want to do it alone. I just want to sit down. They will be slow in getting multiple publications at different instances. So the power of connectivity would make you win in the game of life. Have you seen, even in the political system, you see people who say, oh, this party and this party, they march together, okay? They have a common ground of agreement. And then when they come together, they then go for the election. And sometimes when they collaborate together, they win. That's the concept of connectivity. You need to look out for people that are crucial to your life, people that are crucial to your journey, people that are crucial to your career path, that will be willing to help you in the journey of life. Okay, sometimes you don't need to fight alone. There are times you don't have to fight. There are battles you don't fight alone. If you fight them alone, you will be defeated. If you fight them alone, you will be defeated. All right. So know the periods and points where you need to leverage your connectivity. There are various companies and institutions you see, yes, you can see a single man, but there are multiple collaborations and connections. Learn from those things. So number one is identity. Number two is capacity. Number three is connectivity. And number four is community. Number four is community. Please, while I'm speaking, if you have questions, just do well to type them in the comments. I would check out on them, listen, and all of that. Okay, so community. Okay, the concept of community. Now, I have seen something that have worked so well for most especially for people who are introverts. Okay, if you happen to be an introvert and you want to know how you can begin to master certain results, certain outcomes, you want to become so good, you want to ensure that you can get some kind of reward from your gift, from your skill, and from a number of the things that you do. Okay, this particular system will help you in a small way. Community, community. And I have seen people who have gained confidence. Okay, people who used to be very intimidated, people who used to be very shy, who have built a measure of confidence to a point that if you see them speak now, you'll be surprised. If you see them speak now, you will be surprised. You will be surprised. Why? Because they joined some communities that enhanced their growth. Okay, enhance their growth, cause them to grow, cause them to increase, cause them to advance, and then they were given the leverage to express themselves. And you will see them on stage now, you're surprised and say, wow, 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 community is really amazing. Now, when you see that you have certain weaknesses or you lack some sort of capacity, there are communities that gives you the privilege to learn freely. Okay, you can express yourself. They put you into groups. They teach you certain instances. They give you certain tasks to do, and before you know it, you grow. For example, there are some communities that have helped me in my life. I remember there used to be this tech community. Okay, right now there's a tech community that happens to be one of the schools. There's this tech community in Ogun State called Ogun Tech Community. There are there are online communities like Start Africa. It's now Start Community on Facebook by John Obidi. There is the Online Publishers and Entrepreneurs Network by Doing Etewo. There are a number of network. There are number. Okay. And when you belong to such communities, they teach certain things. Sometimes they hold physical meetings, they hold physical hangouts. I remember when we used to have Purpose and Network, Purpose Network that led to Purpose Hangouts, just small group of people sharing concepts around purpose, inspiring people, and you'll see people come and say, oh, I never knew. Oh, now I know my purpose. Oh, now I'm willing to push. Now I'm willing to live a fulfilled life. Now I'm willing to transform my life. Now I'm willing to grow. Now I'm willing to advance. Why? Because of the concept of community. There are certain things you will not learn in a large gathering, but you will learn from communities. You need to belong to a community. For example, in my profession, we have a number of professional communities, professional network. We have the Association of Computing Machinery. I happen to be there. Nigeria Computer Society, Computer Professionals of Nigeria. So you need to belong to communities. Okay, you know, my mentor started sharing a number of them, like International Association, the Nigeria American Association. Okay, the Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, you know, Lagos Chamber of Commerce, a number of communities. You need to be there. And there are people who have changed their life by belonging to such communities. They have changed their life by belonging to such communities. You will see them do things, contribute to things. Even some have had the privilege to leave their continent, to travel to new continents just through communities. Like they see them being active, contributing, and saying, oh, we're having this and we need representative to do this. And they've had leverage. They've had the ability to leverage just like that. Community is a very powerful system for transforming and for changing your life. You need to belong to some sort of community. Okay, think about it. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. There are communities relating to your kind of enterprise. Maybe you're a career person. There are communities that relate to your kind of community. In fact, there are even communities that help to give some sort of financial intelligence counsel. Okay, things relating to financial intelligence, how you can manage your finance, how you can begin to do some sort of things. There is Money Africa, for example, where they teach you certain things, how to invest your money, how to partition your money, how to know how to grow your money, certain things. You need communities. In such some communities, they even recommend books. Okay, they recommend books to you. They tell you, oh, read this book if you want to have this. Go this way. Some even have book clubs where people read books and discuss ideas around it. Belong to some sort of community. Okay, for example, we have Growth Up Community. It's on Facebook. You can choose to join. Telegram. We also have a Telegram channel. It's t.me slash. Let me put it up there. t.me slash Growth Up Africa. All right. This is also a community. I share insight. I share stuffs. I put it out there for people who want to learn, people who want to advance their life, certain resources made available just to ensure that you have a better life. So you need to belong to some sort of community. I knew how my younger brother grew to a point of becoming a software engineer. All right, growing to a point of becoming a software engineer after learning elect engineering. Okay, he came into tech, dig his head into software engineering, front end, back end, and a lot of amazing stuff. And right now, he's doing so well. All right, working for one of the best e-commerce company in the world. All right, one of the best e-commerce company in the world. Okay, so it's really amazing. What was he doing? He would join Google Developers Club. He was involved in the community, doing the assignments, collaborating with others, doing stuff. That's how you begin to grow. That's how you begin to improve. That's how you begin to advance your life. You need to belong to a community. If you are just the one, I don't want any community, I don't want, even billionaires, they have communities that they join. Billionaires, yeah. Check it out. They have communities that they belong to just because they need to grow and leverage the things that they do. So you need to belong to a community or even communities. Okay. So number five is very important. You need authority. You need authority. You need authority. Now, one way with which you can build authority is by becoming an author. Okay, this is my book. This was my last published book, Courage: How Ordinary People Achieve Extraordinary Results. Okay, and I don't have many hard copy available, hard print copy available. It's now available as you can get the ebook. It's available on Seller. If you just go on Seller, SELAR plus Abiodun Mustafa, you get the link to my Seller platform, and then you can get a copy. Okay, one way to build authority is by becoming an author. And the idea behind becoming an author is that when people see that you have written a book, okay, they seem to trust your communication more. Why? Because people are like, he's an author, so he has written a book, he has published books. Okay, it's a way with which you build authority over time. You will build authority over time. People will see you like, in this field, he has published a book, he has sold the copies of book in this area. You'll see people inviting you to come and speak, people inviting you to come on their platform, people telling you, oh, we want to hear on this concept about it. And then you get your books out, you get your ideas out, you get your stories out, you begin to learn more, push more, and then you begin to do more. It's really, really important. Okay, that's one way with which you can build authority, the concept of authority. You can also build authority by growing online influence. Okay, online influence in an area of thoughts, thoughts that people are willing to connect with. Okay, people are willing to connect with, and that's the way you begin to build authority. Okay, that's on the physical level. There's also spiritual authority needed in the game of life. You need the connection of the natural and the supernatural to have some kind of authority upon your life. Okay, there are parts in scriptures where you see where they said he was in his master's house and his master handed all over to him, Joseph, because the Lord was with him. Why? Because there was an authority upon his life. That's why I don't love to deceive people. I know when people share a lot of these things, they always try to detach the concept of the supernatural from the natural. But the supernatural controls the natural, and the invisible controls the visible. Okay? You need authority over your life. Okay, that's why you need to build concepts like prayer, concept like knowledge, okay, like spiritual knowledge, deep spiritual truth, in order to imbibe them into your spirit being so that there will be some sort of authority over your life. Honor comes by spiritual authority, favor comes by spiritual authority. There are certain things. There are a lot of things that are happening beyond the physical things you can see. There are things that control this physical world we are in that are unseen, and you need to engage sort of authority in order to win in the game of life. There are certain situations you get to in life that you would know that you would need God to cross this point. Okay, you need God to cross this point. That's why it's important that you have authority, identity, capacity, connectivity. You also need community and authority. Authority, you really, really, really need it. You know, today I was reading from a part in the Bible when the Lord said, "I've made you a God to Pharaoh." That's authority. That's ordinary. When he told Moses and Aaron, he said, "I've made you a God to Pharaoh." He said, "Go there." And when they got there, Pharaoh was saying, "Oh, why will I allow this go?" And he was arguing. And the Lord said he should drop the rod. They dropped the rod, and the rod became a serpent. And Pharaoh also called his own magicians. They did the same thing. It became serpent, but the serpent of Aaron and Moses swallowed their own. That's authority. That's authority. If you need certain kings and people in authority to listen to you, beyond strategy, you will need something supernatural that will convince them to listen to you. All right? Why do you think it got to a point that after Mordecai had done something well for a long time, it took God to deny a king sleep in order for that man not to die, in order for that man to be favored? There's something about spiritual authority, and you need to engage them, you need to understand them, you need to use them in your life, and you need to know in any way that you can that there's something called the grace of God that helps a man. Okay, those are the 5 things I want to share today on the concept of mastery, and that's it about it. You need your identity, you need connectivity, you need capacity, you need community, and you need authority. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this. And I would leave the replay for many who still want to watch the replay and learn from it. Do well to put down your learnings in the comments. Do well to also reach out to your friends. Share the video with as many people that you can. As you're watching this video, as you have got it to the end, you have watched it right now, just click on the share button, copy the link, post on your WhatsApp status, on Telegram, and all the places that you can, and get people to learn from this knowledge. I trust this was worth your time. Till I come your way again on part 2 of the Mastery series. Keep changing your life, keep making the best of your life, the rest of your life, the best of your life. And always remember, it's not about what you don't have. It's about what you have, but you don't know what to do with it. And just like I've always shared with you, make sure you're intentional about life, because life only blesses those who prepare for it. Till I come your way again, cheers, and keep making a difference wherever you go. Bye-bye.